It's been nearly a year now since a massive fire and explosion ripped through the parking garage attached to Nashville's downtown library. And now a new lawsuit is shedding light on what may have been happening inside the garage even before that fire started. WSMV 4's investigative reporter Stacey Cameron shows us.
The downtown library garage fire is now more than an investigation. It's part of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. And what we uncovered months ago about fuel tanks and missing permits is now showing up in legal claims that part of the garage was being used for entirely something else. Metro Nashville's insurance company Travelers filed the lawsuit, saying it's already paid out more than $10 million for the damage tied to this fire and explosion. And now Travelers is going after the Nashville Downtown Partnership, which managed the garage, and Block by Block, a company that had a lease to use space inside it. The complaint claims those entities put up what it calls an impermissible storage yard in the garage, including an impermissible storage shed with combustible, hazardous, and flammable materials kept inside. The lawsuit says the fire started in that storage area, and that tracks with our investigation, where we discovered video showing propane tanks and other fuel canisters stored on an upper level under a ramp, the same area where the fire investigation said the explosion and fire started. We also filed open record requests with Metro Codes and the Fire Marshal's office, and those records showed no permits were issued to NDOT, the Nashville Downtown Partnership, or Block by Block for fuel storage at that site. The lawsuit also points to another major allegation: smoking, claiming the Downtown Partnership and Block by Block failed to keep employees from smoking on the property, essentially drawing a connection between unauthorized storage areas, combustible materials, and smoking nearby. Now, Travelers' lawsuit claims that the Nashville Downtown Partnership and Block by Block were grossly negligent, seeking at least $10 million, a number that could easily grow as renovations inside the garage continue. We did reach out to both of those entities, Nashville Downtown Partnership and Block by Block, for comment. They said they couldn't due to the ongoing litigation. Reporting for WSMV 4, I'm investigative reporter Stacey Cameron.
Now, the downtown library reopened in March, but there will be a celebration this Saturday from 10 until 2. Everyone is invited to attend. The staff spent about 9 months cleaning and refurbishing more than 269,000 books inside. As for the garage, it is expected to partially reopen this fall.